Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to watch the video of Ichun'gwa being heckled in Kiambu. And I want you to watch that video twice because I made an observation just when I saw this video yesterday that no analyst seems to have really paid attention to it, because everyone has been picking just the heckling. But me, I paid attention and I tried asking around. Of course, that video is 1 minute 43 seconds. Nearly half of that video, the before heckling started, half of that video, Ichun'gwa was addressing the audience. But at what point did heckling gather steam? Did the heckling start? The heckling started immediately. Ichun'gwa started talking about Uhuru Kenyatta. And if you listen to that if you listen to that video keenly, the time, and I want you to get that part he's talking about Uhuru Kenyatta, because that's when the heckling started. Before we look at those details, are you someone who needs and wants to buy land? I know the issues of buying land are normally very technical because you need to outweigh all the options on table. There is a 50 by 100 piece of land sitting in Imani Estate around Ruto, and this is a prime land for investment. It is a personal land being sold by the owner with the ready title deed. Just to get more details about this, I just want you to contact straight. You can contact Patrick. His number is 0724 61 4714. 0724 61 4714. You are going to buy this land from the owner, 50 by 100 piece of land in Ruto around this Imani estate. It is actually close to the road, ideal for investment and also your own settlement. So contact Patrick so that you can get details on that.
Na sisi kama viongozi wa Kiambu, juzi wakati tulikuwa lari, hiyo ni vita ya kampeni, tuliwaambia mikutano ya rais. Nataka niwatangazie hapa President William Ruto na hiyo imepigwa na MCA mabioro kama kendumaga atitikarie kai manyo na tukwa niongeni siongee na sisi kama viongozi wa Kiambu.
Hiyo ni vita.
Juzi wakati tulikuwa Lari,
Hiyo ni vita ya kampeni.
tuliwaambia mikutano ya rais. Na nataka niwatangazie hapa President William Ruto na
Now, the second bit of it, you'll realize that that microphone went off. So, by the time that microphone was off, that is why you can hear the heckling guys are very audible. Wakimwambia wewe ni bibi ya Ruto, and of course dismissing the fact that dismissing the rants on Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, there are two things that happened there. The microphone was put off. That microphone was put off. And second thing, the heckling started and gathered steam there. And during that heckling, there's some words the audience is saying. Wewe ni bibi ya Ruto. I think my understanding about that ni kwamba wewe ni kibaraka cha Ruto. You know, like you worship Ruto. You know, like if someone says you are a wife to someone, what that person is maybe is trying to explain is that you are a servant. As in you're a servant of President Ruto. And then he's also telling Kimani Ichun'gwa the message about stop telling us about Uhuru Kenyatta. Dismissing that rants on Uhuru Kenyatta. Number 3, he was referring to heckling in Larry. Is it Larry? Yes, Larry. Some 2 weeks ago. And remember that heckling is the point Rigathi Gachagua was actually telling these young people that they should not heckle the king. So, you know, it crossed people's mind. He mentioned Larry. Larry is where William Ruto was heckled, and Rigathi Gachagua bashed the public on heckling the king. Just get a snippet of it. So let me tell you, in this audience, there are 2 things going on. There are 3 things going on. Number 1, they don't like the fact that Kimani Ichun'gwa wanted to talk about Uhuru Kenyatta or blah blah. Number 2 is referring to Kimani Ichun'gwa as kibaraka cha Ruto. And number 3, the mention of Larry, or rather a mere fact that someone had already demonized them on maybe attacking the king, all those things cross paths. And I've tried to look at this analysis, what is running through the minds of those viewers. What I have actually realized is that Kenya Kwanza commits mistakes, endless mistakes, and that is why the public is actually dismissing them. The public is dismissing them because of these 4 or endless mistakes. And I think just better part of this, in this podcast, I once explained that you cannot survive on propaganda. It doesn't work. It doesn't have to be that way. You can't work on propaganda. Now, before we look at, we can't work on propaganda. So I want us to look at those messages. Now, these mistakes are 4. Number 1, the first mistake is continuing with Uhuru projects, but with more pain. There is a resounding call, something that the public is asking. Uhuru built affordable houses, but he didn't tax us 1.5%. You know, that's the public is seeing that. So that is why you can see a lot of contradiction in Kenya Kwanza. You're not doing anything new. Just to say the truth, you're not doing anything new. You're not the first president to pay debts. Even former presidents were paying debts. Okay? So there are a couple of projects that are being rolled. These projects are not new. You're not the first person to do reforms in electricity, but the cost of token is high. So it is very clear that the public is angry because, and that is why they're dismissing Ichun'gwa on calling Uhuru Kenyatta, because you are running Uhuru Kenyatta projects just with more pain. And a good example is affordable housing. Number 2, relaunching Uhuru projects while media is exposing, is disarming the new brand of politicians against using Uhuru Kenyatta's name. There is no point of going to the public and you want to tell the public about how Uhuru Kenyatta this, Uhuru Kenyatta that, while you are launching his projects. And the beauty of all that is that the media is exposing. Myself, whenever I see a project being launched by the president, very simple. You just Google that road. Ukipata, utapata it's something that had already been done, even launched way back when Uhuru Kenyatta was in government. So there is no way you can attack Uhuru Kenyatta in this administration because you are launching his projects. And the media is telling the public, the media is telling the public, you go, hizi vitu zote utapata ni yeye alianzisha. And even themselves, they've been saying they want to complete Uhuru project. So Uhuru did something. There is something the public is saying that as much as you guys want us to believe Uhuru did nothing, Uhuru did something. And that is why an attempt to try to drag Uhuru in the mud is not coming out very successful. Then the third mistake is, I think, being confrontational when Uhuru comes to speak. Just 2 weeks ago, Uhuru was in Mount Kenya. Not even 2 weeks ago, that was last Sunday. Last Saturday, he attended some two funerals in Nyandarua, one in Nyandarua and one in Nyeri. And while speaking in Nyandarua, he said there are some things that nowadays normally just look and just laugh. Then the next day, that was I think on Monday, during a cabinet retreat that started in Naivasha, Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto took all the time to respond to Uhuru Kenyatta, by them even singling out that Uhuru Kenyatta is laughing because there are things William Ruto is doing that he didn't think would be done. The public is seeing those things. And as much as there is a very old school thought that when Uhuru says something, we must marshal our people and respond, you know. And I do wonder, Uhuru has done his part. Ashamaliza. Anapumzika. Now he makes his comments as just another leader, as a leader who was already in power. But you will see the way people get irritated, and because there is a fear that Uhuru is really still a voice. And that is really a big thing. The last big mistake William Ruto is doing is he is not being felt on ground. And I think I've said this. I'll still not get tired of repeating. The people are not feeling the Ruto that they saw in campaign. They're not feeling. They're still seeing campaigns. And that is why even the audience, when they're listening to Kimani Ichun'gwa, they are seeing a gentleman campaigning. They are not seeing someone trying to execute a serious point. They are seeing man on a campaign. So most of these projects, there's so many textbooks. There's so many poetic talk and cooked data on how many jobs have been created. Like, I've seen Ruto going to the top of the can saying the way they have created 250 jobs in affordable housing, 300,000 jobs have been created in the digital space, while the public are not seeing. Watu hawafeel hizo vitu. And that is why I think it will not be easy to mention Uhuru Kenyatta's name. Thank you.